Random thought. And you're going to have to think back probably deep in your memory bank. But first dates. Do you think a first date exit survey is a good idea? And the reason why I asked, came across this story. This guy moved from San Francisco to New York, engineer, and was struggling dating. He's 27, right. And the struggles that everybody goes through, getting ghosted, people no-show, all the things that happen through dating apps. So then what he decided, and he's a tech guy, so he decided was he's going to create a survey. So at the end of the date, the girls would get a survey with like 10 questions for them to be able to rate on a scale of 1 to 5, you know, what they thought about the conversation, the venue, and all that, and try to use that as data to understand what he could do better to date. And I think one person that, you know, some people thought it was weird. One person filled out the survey and was like, you took me to a fucking hole in the wall. Why would you take somebody there for a first date? I'm just reading through this. I'm like, is an exit survey a good idea? I say yes. No, but what say you?
Yes. You know what? So here's the thing, because you try to figure out, and this guy, let's be honest, he's a techie guy. He's an engineer. So he probably his people skills are probably what they are. Okay, as you'd expect. But I've worked with a lot of engineers, and trust me, their people skills leave a lot to be desired sometimes. But that's what makes them good at what they do. They talk to computers. They talk to machines. Okay. For him, this data-driven guy, he goes, well, give me some data because I'm getting ghosted. Now, I have no idea what that's like because I don't think I've ever been ghosted. I think it's always been like a mutual ghosted, like, man, you know who I haven't heard from in a while? I'm like, yeah, well, I guess we both ghosted each other. But for this guy, he's like, yo, what am I doing wrong? And what's wrong with getting that information? How many times have you been out on a date and you have something that you're thinking in your head, you don't say out loud because you're like, you know what? I know better, even though there are very few things that you don't ever just say out loud, especially if they don't ask, especially if they ask, right? So in this case, somebody gives you a survey. Wouldn't you be fine to take that survey and go, yes, well, this is why I won't be asking you out on the second date? Or finding out from somebody else, no, I like that we did this, or I like that you did this. Because you want to know what works and what doesn't, right? Mm.
Well, I would say, this is why I'm not asking you on a second date. I'm like, what? I'm like, this survey. This is why I'm not asking you on a second date.
This
survey. So no. Here's why I don't think it's a good idea. And I agree 100% that most of the engineers that I've come across, they're a little different socially. Mm-hmm. So I'm a big believer in you got to be yourself no matter what. And you're going to find some people who like you and you're going to find some people who don't like you. Yeah. I've been on some dates where I'm just like, yeah, I totally blew that. When I said X, like I replay it, I'm like, I shouldn't have said that.
That's where this date ended.
That's me, yeah, right there. This is, it's like Madden, like the little chalkboard. I'm like, right here, when I went in and said this, circle it. Boom. Don't do that. Yeah. But I mean, I've been on some dates where I met the person, they were cool, just didn't connect with them, didn't really want to go on another date with them. Right. But he's in New York. He's not in a small town. Like when I lived in Lincoln, Nebraska, trying to date there, it was tough, but he's in New York. Millions of people everywhere. You're going to have to kiss quite a few frogs to get to your princess, so keep trying. Eventually you're going to find someone that you like. So he does wind up meeting and he's dating someone now. Mm-hmm. And this person, she thought the survey was a good idea, but she liked him before she got the survey. It wasn't like, hey, we're going to go on a date. And at the end of the date, you're going to get a survey. Like when you're taking a customer service call and they say, hey, we're going to transfer you to customer service. After they help you, you're going to get connected to a survey. So now, you don't know what's coming.
That would cause you not to get a second date immediately.
Yeah. So you don't know what's coming.
That first date off.
Exactly. So she enjoyed everything about him. And then it was like, oh, a survey? Okay. And filled out. So the survey is not what sealed the deal with the young lady who is dating him now.
I think you're missing the point. It's not about the survey being survey, let me slip my panties off. No, that's not what we're talking about here, okay? We're talking about the fact that the survey allowed him to grow as a person and as a dater, to understand what to do next. Okay, so that's what happened. The survey allowed him to grow, understanding the things that you've done wrong or that people didn't like, or the things that like you found out because you went, oh, this is where I went wrong. Don't do that again. For him, he needed the survey to find that. He needed that data to find that out, right? So once he figured that out, he's able to go on this date. So by the time he got to her, he was where he needed to be for this woman who was waiting for him to get his ish together.
Nope, still respectfully disagree, sir, because one of the things that when he got the feedback about the restaurant, he goes, so I started picking different places. I was picking art museums and all that. Now, picking art museums is great if you are into art museums, if that's like your thing, but you're just randomly picking spots to see how the date's going to interact. Why not just, and this is the social awkwardness of some engineers, why not just ask her, what are some things you like to do?
Because women always go with this. Don't ask me where I want to go. Just take me somewhere.
No. I might ask what kind of food do you like. I don't ask like where do you want to go for a first date, But I'm gonna try to get to know you a bit and realize, okay, you're into this. Oh, you're into art shows. Well, there's a First Friday. They have an art deal. There's wine to walk around. Would you like to go do that? Might not be like my thing I want to do every Friday, but I think that could be a great first date because I know she would at least enjoy the venue and the place. Or even restaurants. Like when I was in Lincoln, when I first moved there, I didn't know anybody. And so the way I would go on dates is I would ask people, like, where's a great place to get a steak? Where's the best seafood place? Where's this? And so I had this list of restaurants. And so if I was going to go on a date with somebody, I would ask them, what kind of food do you like? I've heard about this place. It's supposed to be a really good steak place. Do you like steak? I've never been. And either if they've never been, well, it's win-win. You're both checking out a restaurant. If the date's bad, at least you have some good food. Or they might be like, oh, that place is really nice. But to me, I'm like, well, it's Lincoln, Nebraska. Nice there is $24 a person. Big deal. So I don't mind going to that place. Hey. So I don't think that he learned a lot. Now, what I will disagree with is the lady that complained about the place. You have Yelp. You have Google Maps. You knew it was a hole in the wall before you showed up.
Exactly.
If you didn't, ladies, before you go, they said we're going to go here. Look at the place. Look at the menu.
Look at the reviews.
And look at the reviews and just see what you're getting yourself into. If you're like, hey, there's like 3 murders that happened, in a week at that parking lot. Okay, change the place.
I just want to clarify something here. You said when you got to Lincoln, you asked people, where's a good place to get a steak? Where's a good place to get seafood, right? Mm-hmm. And then when you were trying to solicit for these dates, you would say, so do you like steak? Do you like seafood, right? Mm-hmm. So you were conducting a pre-first date survey. You were collecting data.
Not a pre-first date survey. No,
same thing this guy did.
No.
Yes, you did.
I was collecting data from that one person. I wasn't asking a whole bunch of dates, what's your preferred steak place? And they're narrowed down to what's the best steak in Lincoln, Nebraska. That's not what I did. I would just ask that person, hey, let's go out to eat. Let's meet up for a meal. What do you like? And they're like, oh, I like this kind of food. Okay, well, I'd have a list of places that I heard were good that sold that kind of food. So I'd say, well, have you been to any of these places? And they might say, yes, no, great, let's pick one of these.
You know what?
So
here's what I noticed. If you did this survey, your pre-date survey would be, all right, so what do you consider a good steak here in Lincoln, Nebraska? $12, $24, or $50? And that would determine everything.
It'd be a trick question. When you're at Applebee's, how do you like your steak cooked? Medium, mid-rare, well done, or rare? If they answer that at all, I'd be like, we're not going to work out because you should not get a steak at Applebee's. I want someone to be like, first of all, I would not get a steak at Applebee's. Right answer. Right answer.
I'll pick you up at 7.